everyone. All right, in today's vlog, I would like to talk about women and dating. Also, want to touch on slut shaming a little bit too, because in this conversation, I am going to give every woman on this planet who is single and wants to get out there and find a relationship, I'm going to give you permission to date like 5 guys at one time. Okay, so what does that mean? I know a lot of you are probably like, what the heck? So what does that mean? I kind of call it my 5 guy dating roster. And what I mean by that is, I mean that we as women do not need to take dating that seriously. We need to have more fun with life, especially when it comes to dating. Now, to start, let's talk about the 5 guy dating roster. So to me, it's really important to have fun in everything that I do now, and that includes dating. So I get out there and I kind of date with a very open mind, and I use it as a learning experience. I've talked about this before. So dating, to me, I'm not looking, I mean, I am. I know what I want. I want something that's long term. And the end result has to be, for me, and just where I'm at in my life, the end result does have to be marriage. I do want a committed relationship, and I know that is what I want, and I think that's what most women want. But I think that even in knowing what you want, you have to have confidence within yourself, and you need to want it with truth. So what I mean by you need to want it with truth is that, like, if you want marriage and you want a long-term relationship, you need to be real honest with yourself and why you want it. Do you want it because you're feeling a lack of something within yourself? Because that's not the right reason to want a long-term relationship and marriage. What you need to do in the truth of the situation is you need to become aware of what you're lacking, and you kind of need to work on yourself and heal that first. Otherwise, the man that you attract is probably just going to be, they're going to mirror you. They're also going to be needy and lacking something. So the first thing that I would like to make very clear is that as women, we are allowed to want anything that we want. I mean, any human being on this planet is allowed to want what they want. The universe will provide it, as long as you're truthful to yourself, as long as you don't have expectations from a man to make you happy. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. You need to be happy within yourself. So that is what I mean by truth. Have you done the inner work? Question yourself. Ask yourself. Secondly, this was really hard for me. So in my journey, I actually started off with spirituality. I did a lot. I've been doing this for 12 years now. I just got out of my dark night moment in spirituality, and it's a moment of, like, when you experience deep depression, because you are dealing with all those demons that are put within you from society, childhood, whatever. Those demons start coming out, and it took me 3 years of my fucking life to deal with this shit. But I'm so glad I see the light. I am coming out of the 3 years. It's not constant depression, but it's 3 years of just realizing and dealing with the subconscious mind. All right, so once you've done that, I think that my next step was, I was like, God, I feel good, okay, and my son's grown up. I'm allowed to want a relationship. The problem was, I didn't even know how to deal with men. I didn't know how to talk to men respectfully because I myself was very male. And when I say male, my characteristics were that like of a man. I was very much so because I was a mother, B, entrepreneur, and learn to be aggressive. I am the hunter and gatherer. I'm the one that does everything for my home, on my own, for my business, for my child. So I haven't had the balance of having a male in my life. So that was one of the truths that I had to face, and I had to realize, oh shit, I need to become more feminine. That is what I need to do. So feminine characteristics are very yin. They're very nurturing. They're not motherly. They are not motherly when I say nurturing. They're very loving. They're very compassionate. So I had to learn. So for me, I started this 5-guy roster in order to learn and to become more feminine and become more yin. And I give you ladies permission to do the same. I'm not saying sleep with them, I'm saying date them. Okay, if you want to sleep with them, do what you want. But what I'm trying to allude to is you're allowed to date 5 guys at once if you like. So what I would do, to give you an example, once I got good with myself, I had like my top guy of the 5. This is the guy I was really interested in, and he's the one that I would give my time to. But if like things really weren't going anywhere, but yet they were still going somewhere the whole time. So you know, you have your top guy, then you have your guys that like, my dating app was Bumble, or I meet guys out when I'm gone out. So if from an app, I totally began to learn how to talk to guys via texting or on Bumble. And the way I did it, what I started doing was talking, really getting in tune with my feminine energy, that like lover's energy, that goddess type energy, the archetypes that are out there for feminine, for women. I began to get in tune, and I started speaking to men in a more, texting men in a more clean. When I say like fun, quirky, seductive at the same time, I started learning how to be comfortable with seduction, because that's what us women should do. But I did it in a way where I still was very confident. And if the guy didn't respond or like didn't message me back, which actually didn't happen because I became extremely good at using my feminine energy. But in case if a guy didn't text back or didn't I don't know. But you have to be okay with that. You have to have the confidence to say, okay, next. And that's what this 5-guy roster does, is you learn. I started practicing how to text, and then when these guys would show up, I would only do coffee. I mean, in the beginning, if I liked them, then maybe a lunch or a drink or something. But I would do something short term. And when I would show up and meet them, I learned how to be more feminine, even like physically when I'm sitting next to a man. And I learned how to engage with them in a more like flirty way that I was comfortable with. So like, it was just opening up these feminine channels. And in the way I used the 5 dating roster, so I had my top guy, and then I had a couple of others that I was interested in, and I continually kind of would see. Then I had a couple who were kind of my Bumble, in and out, in and out. And what this does is it takes you away from attachment, because if the guys aren't giving you what you want, the top 3, eventually you'll get rid of them because you're not attached to them. And it allows the energy to circulate, to keep going, so you are not devastated by some man who isn't giving you what you want. You're able to get rid of the guys and move on because you have a goal. You know what you want, and you eventually, with this 5-man roster, will find and come into alignment with the man that you're looking for. So I know we have, like, there's slut shaming, so often women don't want to say that they've been seeing multiple guys, but you know what? Screw it. That's just a societal thing. You're not a slut if you're going out and seeing 5 guys. You can do what you want. It's okay. I give you permission. Love you guys. Bye.